modeling and colorism, definitely a thing.
And why do people think that plus-size women cannot find love?
You see, the problem with the body positive movement is the fact that change is a bad thing.
I need to know what Drake really meant by BBW.
It's Diva Doll, and we have our favorite bartender.
The turnip queen, Ayana.
We are so happy to be back, you guys.
Yes.
We missed you.
Yes.
So many things has happened.
So much to talk about.
So much to talk about.
Oh,
like,
wow.
everything's been like going on.
Yeah, so much.
And I mean, the internet is going crazy.
Yes.
The internet is going crazy. You said it's not. The crazy thing is we are getting ready to have these meaningful yet fun and entertaining conversations. But as many of you may or may not know, Curves Rock Fashion Weekend is coming up July the 18th.
Yes, make sure you're there.
July the 20th, and we have a lot going on. So each week during our episodes, we'll be revealing something special about the event, you know, new updates, times, special guests, etc. But ladies,
What?
fashion,
Fashion? Okay.
first and foremost.
Well, first and foremost, since you're tuning in live, please make sure you ask us questions, comments. We will be responding to them live tonight.
Yes.
Yes, and share it. Hit the share button.
Hit the share button.
Join the conversation.
So we have Savage Fenty.
Yes.
Okay. So we were, you know, we kind of got into a heated, you know, like discussion the other day on the phone. And everybody's like, wait, we're not going to talk about it. So now's the time for us to talk about it. So Rihanna came out with a lingerie line.
Yes.
I thought, did you guys see her launch party? I thought it was really I thought it was really dope how
Oh, yeah, that was
she
really
used
dope.
the what are they? The is it called a monogram?
Yeah.
To like model her clothes.
Yeah, I thought that was
Wait,
super
what?
cool.
I'm sorry.
The like computer
Oh, hologram?
Oh, hologram. What's a hologram, monogram, whatever. It's all the same.
Whatever.
Oh,
So they used this she used this to model her clothes. So she like came out.
Yeah,
right?
it was nice. I like that.
And so that was crazy. So what did you guys think? I mean, there's been a lot of buzz on the internet about, you know, she could have kept that, you know, type of thing. As far as the plus size community was, you know, in reference to, you know, the things that they had available.
Yeah.
Now, my personal opinion, people were saying a lot of different things. They were
Okay.
saying like, it wasn't different, it wasn't spectacular,
Right.
it wasn't, you know, all these different things. I just feel like the whole line was pretty basic.
Okay.
I mean, and when I say
you think?
that,
Well, go ahead. I'll let Chanel finish.
All right. Okay.
I mean, when I say that, I'm thinking, okay, so it's not like she had something spectacular for the smaller girls,
Right.
and then just was like, threw something to the plus size girls. I really thought that style wise, it was pretty the same across the board. Like if you want to give the
Basic. Go ahead.
if you want to give, if you would have looked at the little bodysuit for the straight size girl, you would have said, oh, that's like a 6 or 7. It's the same thing with the plus size. I didn't feel like she
You
treated.
mean 607 as far as rating? Is that what you're giving it?
What I'm saying is there was no
You're giving it a
difference in
6
rating.
out of 10.
There was no.
Oh, okay.
There was no difference in rating.
Hey, Billy. I had to quick shout out.
What I mean, what did you guys
I was about
think?
to say, let me just say.
Okay.
I was disappointed because it's Rihanna. Like, I'm expecting something hot, something sexy, something fabulous, and I felt like it was cheesy to me. It wasn't anything fabulous. Like, I felt like I could have got that from Rainbow or a cheap little Sears or something like, you know what I mean? It wasn't.
I wouldn't go as far as rainbow. Like I think
Rainbow,
that's like.
I would.
I'm just saying it wasn't.
But you don't even
Let's
wear.
We talking about
Cheesy
shaving.
to me.
All right, so I'm going to say in general that I don't think that there's a maybe I'm wrong, but I don't personally see a way to reinvent the wheel when it comes to lingerie per se. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I think people's expectations were a little bit too high. Like,
Okay.
I think the line was fine. It was something that you may see in a Victoria's Secrets or, you know, somebody else's plus size, or on the plus size end, you might see in like a Torrid or something, or a Lane Bryant or whatever. So I don't feel like it was anything wrong with the line. I think it was just fine, you know? Like, I didn't
had
have high
higher
expectations.
expectations
I
for
didn't.
her.
I did not.
I mean, so what did you expect?
I feel like, I don't know what I was expecting, but when I saw that, I was disappointed.
I think y'all was expecting some like whips chains.
It wasn't
all
me.
kinds of, like-
Well, you heard savage. You mean you thought like it's about to go down. 50 Shades of Rihanna. What?
I really, okay, so back to this rainbow. I will compare it to rainbow because literally it wasn't like satin. It wasn't nothing shimmery. It was just mesh and feather. What is that? Feather boa? That's what it was. It was a mesh shirt like I have on myself. And if I touch a feather boa right here, I'd have a savage face in that same color. Billy said it was trash too. So what do you?
Okay, so Billy, you gonna get this Rihanna Savage Fenty, or you gonna get this bonnet? Now, which one do you want? Okay.
Is the bonnet, does it have a glitter like band on it?
Oh my God. No,
Oh my God.
so I think, okay, let me try to re-explain myself.
I'm just saying, I think people's expectations were too high. I don't think it was anything wrong with the line. It was some really nice things on there. Now, on the plus size end,
You said really nice.
on the plus size,
What was y'all expecting?
hold up, on the plus size end, I mean, I wasn't interested, but I mean, I don't, you know, but on some of the straight side,
But what she tried to do
said you
was
wasn't interested.
the same thing she did for a skinny girl, she did for a plus size girl, and that don't work. Like that whole little, like I said, that whole little triangle under boob thing she had.
that works perfect. I thought that was something I would personally buy.
If you're
I thought that was
doing
something I would
big,
buy.
Then I can't see the under part. It's no.
You don't need to see that. You don't need to see that.
Listen,
Anyway,
and
I
that's
thought-
the but people were asking. So like somebody was like, "Well, why can't we get the crotchless caged panties?" And I'm thinking, no, listen, don't listen.
Who said that?
I saw that. I didn't say that, but I could
my
wear
God.
a crotchless cage,
I've never even seen
and I could get and you could get the whole picture. But sometimes, depending on a certain. Really?
Let me pull up a crotchless cage.
Listen,
Oh, boy.
sometimes depending on your body frame, certain things just not gonna, you know what I mean? It's just not gonna flow right.
But
you
that
know,
purple bow ain't flow
you
right
got-
either.
what purple bow?
That robe.
I like that robe.
Oh, God.
It looked dainty. It looked rich.
cheesy. No, it
It
don't
looked
look
rich. It looked like, you know, I'm gonna go
All
out.
right, if you like it that
Did
much,
we have
I'm
a
gonna make
picture
you one
of that
tomorrow.
purple
If that's
robe?
the case, if you like it that much, I'm gonna make you one tomorrow. my little talking Tina sewing machine and go ham.
Okay, so I mean, I just felt she did say, okay, in Rihanna's defense, because people were complaining about the bra sizes.
Right, I agree with that.
So she did say that please stand by, extended sizes are coming.
Okay, that's
and that's
good.
one of the things.
Because I
that-
did like some of her bras. Like I did. I was like, oh, that's cute. Oh, double D, yeah. Okay, well. I'm gonna just stop right there and not even waste my time.
You know, I could probably fit a double D.
Yeah, okay.
When?
On her head.
No, listen. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I appreciate a company who recognizes when something is not really
Absolutely.
flowing right with their consumer base or the target market they're trying to reach,
Right.
and then they try to make adjustments.
Right.
And that's all you can really ask, because when you're trying something or when you're venturing into something new, it's never cookie cutter for anybody.
Right.
It's definitely not cookie cutter for the plus size community, because we have all different shapes and stuff to our bodies.
Right.
So
But I think about it like this. Since we are talking about Rihanna breaking into stuff, when she did her makeup line, it was flawless.
Right.
Everybody loved it. Everybody was accounted for. This did not have the same production. Everybody.
But how do you
But it's
compare
not
this to
the
makeup?
same.
It's
Makeup
not the
is
same.
very
Makeup
different.
is easier, in my opinion.
Why is it easier?
because
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because shade wise, you can sort of it's different from body. You know, body, especially when you're dealing with plus size bodies, you're dealing with big boobs, small waist, big hips. Maybe not big hips, maybe big waist, maybe small breasts, maybe, you know what I'm saying. You're dealing with like a whole like
different.
A lot of different
Very
types
good.
of
A lot of
hairs.
different
But how
shapes.
does that not work for skin? You're dealing with a whole bunch of different peoples and their skin, their pigmentation,
Right.
their dryness, their oil, their combination.
No, but that's very much so different because you can look and do a color. Like you could do white, light white, yellow, dark yellow. Like you can take the whole rainbow and just go all the way up.
Yeah, you can slowly
You
transition
can't do that with a
colors.
body.
People, like other companies chose not to go that route. You know what I mean? So that's why.
Monogram, hologram.
I almost gave you the finger. I almost gave you the finger. I swear.
Oh my goodness.
So listen, speaking of, really, this is just not flowing. I just want to talk about
Body
it.
shapes.
Body shapes, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yes. That flowed well, right? So the other day I was on the shade room. Speaking of the shade room, guys, we had a pre-discussion ready
my
for the
God.
shade room,
can't.
but today we have two things to talk about in reference to the shade room. So first, we were going to talk about D-Ray Davis,
of course.
right?
Yes.
And he got out the shower doing his little "This Is America" dance.
Yes. He was jamming.
He was jamming, and so everybody was like, you know, some people were interested in the print, right? But then so many other people were saying, oh, how you fat with abs. I
Right.
mean, they were just going in
Yeah.
on his body.
they were.
You understand? And I'm like, well, he's a dude and he looks pretty decent to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand if they were saying that about him. Like, what do they expect? Like,
Billy, what they expect?
like D-Ray Davis, I've seen him in person.
Right.
So he's on a smaller end of what you would probably call a plus size male.
Okay.
I mean, he's just not rock hard. Like I go to the gym
Right.
and you know
Yeah.
you know, and I just thought like the comments and stuff that they were making was just ridiculous, you know.
I think with everything, like I always say about the shade room, like it's just a place to knock people down for the most part, talk about them, you know, be negative or whatever. So if they see him dancing, they're going to find some way to make it funny, negative, maybe make their response, you know, go viral, so to speak, and a lot of people respond or whatever.
Right.
I feel like that's what all people, they're just seeking comments.
But I just didn't feel like men were experiencing that to that level.
Right.
Like when did it get there?
I don't know. I wonder if it was just because he didn't have a shirt on. Because in general, I see women with bigger guys. I
Right.
see women that's attracted to them. So, you know, I just wonder if it's because he was nude. Not nude, but, you know, if he didn't have a shirt on and then people felt that was an opportunity to go in and on him. Like you said, just because it was a shade room.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like from my standpoint, I didn't realize that men had to deal with that type of criticism, especially since he's not even a big guy. Like if he was really big, I could see, I mean, either way, I don't think people should do it, but I could see somebody, you know, trying to, you know, talk about him or make a joke. But with him being his size, it was kind of surprising. Like a lot of the different comments they were making about, you know, him needing to put a shirt, him needing to go in the gym, all kinds of stuff.
I like guys who look like D-Ray. I mean, just to be clear. So I was really shocked. I was like, really? But I mean, then to say this, today on the Shade Room, Lyris Cross was on there doing a ad for like a perfect sculpt shaper or whatever, something of that nature.
One of those sweatbands for working out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she had said something along the lines of she was modeling a thing, just
Right.
saying, you know, many of you guys, I am who I am. Many of you guys know me for my hourglass figure, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. And then people in the comments were just going in, like, what hourglass figure? And this, and that. And I was just like, and they were saying that she wasn't plus size.
Right.
So that was the part that rung true to me the most.
Right.
You know, other than the fact that they were trying to be mean, and I just felt like it was very ignorant. It kind of mirrored the same experience that D-Ray Davis had.
Right.
But I think the other part was that most people didn't know that they kept saying she's not plus size. She's
Right.
not plus size. She's not plus size. She's average. She looks like me. And if I had the time, I would just go through and be like, but you're plus size, and you're plus size,
Right.
and you're plus size.
That's how I felt when I was reading through the comments. I was like, what are these people talking about? She is clearly a plus size model. Right. She has been representing that arena for a long time. And for people to not recognize, and then people are like, oh, you're just trying to live up to what society says. It has nothing to do with society.
Not at all.
You are what you are. And if you're 14 and up, you're considered plus size. If you're 8 and 10 on the design side, you're considered plus size. People were saying that in the comments, and people were like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just listening to society. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I think the biggest problem is that people have an issue with being plus size. The reality of the matter is, does it even matter?
It doesn't.
At the end of the day, you just want clothes for you.
It is
I
the
think it's
label.
For yourself,
People
right?
don't want to be identified as being this thing. So, I always go back to when we had when Fashion the Figure had their grand opening, and we supplied models for them, and they were advertising to people in the mall, and women were like, "I'm not plus size," and we were like, "But you are.
But you are.
You are." But
And it's not about and I think the negative connotation associated with it is like, automatically they hear it and they don't want to be associated with it, right? And then that also causes problems when it's time for them to dress themselves or style themselves, because now you're going in the wrong size. And the department store, this size over here is for you, but you're over here, which is why your clothes are not fitting properly. It doesn't have the look that it's supposed to have because you're shopping in the wrong place. Like I do not like when I see like even smaller girls and they have on pants and they have a muffin top, and I'm like, no, like that's
why I'm behind this table.
I mean, that's all supposed to be, one, you know what I'm saying? But because you decided to wear pants that were too tight, so now you done tightened it, you got a muffin top. I mean, you probably wouldn't even need a shaper if you got the right size pants. So, I mean, they just look at it as a negative connotation, but at the end of the day, it's really about helping you find where your clothes is. Have you ever been to the thrift store?
Yes.
And you're trying to find something, but you can't because everything's just thrown in there. And you're like, well, Dad, I wish it was like by size. I mean, that's the real purpose of it all, so that they can categorize, make things easier, make life easier for you. That's why when you go in a store, there's a men's section and a women's section, so you're not just walking in like, oh, okay, where do I go and what do I do?
Do you think it's necessary, given the fact that the majority of women are like, quote unquote identified as plus size? Is it even necessary? Like, if you just have the sizes, do we need to be characterized as plus size anymore? Is that a necessary term?
I do. I think so.
And why?
No. In general,
I'm just saying, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
not characterization.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about in the store. I do believe that. I mean, you could change it to whatever you want. I mean, they have women's, they have misses, they have juniors. They've changed the name several times. It's not going to change what you are. It's not going to change what side of the store you go into. Some stores say women, so if I don't wear this size, am I not a woman? I'm not going to get mad about that. I don't care.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
you know what? Just thinking about that, it's possible that it could change the stigma that's attached to plus if you just have all sizes. So this shirt is in 2, 6, 20, 22, 24 versus having 2 through 8 here and 12 and 14 on plus side.
But everybody doesn't offer the same sizes.
But that's the problem, right?
That is a problem, but everybody don't want to do it. And it's really nothing you could do about it. There are some designers who just feel like they don't want plus size people in their clothes. Even if it does benefit them, even if it is more of us, and even if we spend a lot of money.
Well, that's true. I definitely know. Like, just from watching like Project Runway and stuff, like you'll hear like these designers, they're just starting up, a lot of them, and they're literally like, if you give them a regular average woman, because they always usually have like a challenge where they have a regular size woman, and they could be from a size 4 maybe up to a size 26 or something, and let them get somebody on that the larger end. They're like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Like, my outfit, what I had in my mind, I could have done it, but now I got this. Like, what am I supposed to do?
And that's also a problem with their teaching. Because if you're going to school to learn and nobody's teaching you, they're teaching you straight size. You know what I mean? Nobody's teaching you how to, and it's a skill to that. To be able to design for a curvy figure. You know how much easier it is to make a 0, a 1, a 2, a 4?
It's
easy. as opposed to having to do curves, and then I gotta get busy with my darts and my tailoring. You know what I'm saying? So so that it can come out right.
Right.
So, I mean, there's so many different ways that there could be changes, but a lot of it is fundamental changes.
Right. I just wonder, like, how you change the perspective of those who are plus size to get them to understand that it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's kind of where I am.
I think it's slowly starting.
yes, but in reference to personal character, you have to show them that it's okay and that there's fabulousness in it and that there's greatness in it. Like for me, thinking back, it was never great because you saw Mrs. and you saw like old Ann Taylor.
Right.
Oh, that's all I saw. So I was
Right.
just like, okay, I'm going to fit myself in these junior jeans. And that be that, and then I started seeing that there's fabulousness in it, and there's greatness in it, and there's gorgeousness in it, and there's all these things that are positive. So if you see those, then I think that people can accommodate, like, all right, like plus size is cool. We got some things going on.
But I think they recognize that they have clothes because some of the people who are saying it aren't people who don't recognize fashion. It's just people who they just don't want to be identified with the group.
They don't want to change their thought process at all. They don't want to change their thought process. And a part of that also is a lot of the industry is full of older women, like models and stuff. They're full of older women. In straight size modeling, a lot of models started like 15, 16.
Right.
The frequency of that and plus size modeling is really not that normal. Right. So if you don't have younger models and if you don't have like kind of that youthful culture, you're not breaking into anything. You're still allowing the young people to grow up thinking that it's not okay to be plus size, that they're still trying to figure out how to dress their body. They're still trying to figure out, how to love themselves. So now, not only is that already a task for young girls, it's definitely a task for young girls that are plus size, right? And then, you have these other beautiful women and models to look up to, but who looks like you doing it?
That's true. That's a good point.
I like it's an Instagram page called It's Fat and Fabulous, I think it's called, and they do plus size prom season. And they show these girls and they have their custom made dress and their little boyfriends have their custom made tops. It is so beautiful to see, and I wish we could pull it up. But that is what I say when now I think people are seeing the fabulousness in it. Like it wasn't like it was back in 2001 where it was not. 2001 was a time of the tip drill video, and that's what the stigma was. I don't even know if I had that year right, but it was around that time, and that's what the stigma was, to be great, to be beautiful, to be everything like that.
But and we could talk about this later, but you talk about tip drill. I had to have this conversation with someone before. A lot of, not all, because some of them look really like thick on TV because TV does that, and then when you see them in person, they're these little small girls with big booties. But a lot of, if you look at like video vixen models and stuff like that, if you look at their stats, with the 52 butt and like the, like that's like an 18. I mean, your waist might not be, but your butt, you know what I mean? But they would never consider themselves plus size.
Oh, no.
Never, never, ever, ever. You understand what I'm saying? So.
But, to transition into something.
Okay.
Rick said, going back to D-Ray, they want men to have high school bodies.
Oh, God.
So it triggered me when you said, like, back in school, they teach these girls to have certain type, or they teach these people to have certain type of bodies. And then going to what, didn't Kanye just say something?
Yeah, so Kanye. Okay, so that is our main discussion for today. So our main discussion for today is about Kanye, but not about Kanye in the sense that you think we're going to talk about Kanye, because the internet has been going crazy about slavery and everything else. That is not what we're talking about today. Kanye went on TMZ, and part of his rant, he stated that he ended up having liposuction because, and then as a result, he became addicted to opioids, right?
Right.
And, and then as a result, he became addicted he became addicted to opioids, and he said he did it because he didn't want society to talk about him like they talked about Rob when he was big, and then he ended up not staying for his sister's wedding, just for fear of paparazzi and whatever. So I thought that was a great topic of discussion today about how society pressures you to feel like you have to do certain things.
Right.
And people want to say, I understand, like, oh, you got to be stronger than that, blah, blah, blah. And I understand, but there are some people who just aren't that strong.
Right.
It takes a lot to be in the spotlight. It takes a lot to be a celebrity. And it's much easier said than done. Right. So usually the women you hear, you see like, oh, she got this done, she got that done, whatever, to fit in, to be a part. But this is the first time that I'm hearing a man, even if men did it before, it's the first time I hear a man say, look, I had liposuction so I can please y'all. So what do you guys think about that?
I like that he was open.
Yeah,
I mean, I like
transparent. Yeah.
At least he not.
Y'all already know. If you had liposuction, you
God,
need to tell. I need to know. Say that. But really, like, I think it's nice that he was able to share. I think it's not normal to hear a man like talk about I guess body image and how he feels about his body and how he wants to look for society to meet a standard. So it's nice to hear him basically, be honest about like, the fact that you will be treated differently sometimes if you gain too much weight and that kind of stuff. And to hear it from a male perspective is it's pretty interesting. It'd be nice if he would kind of delve more into it. But I mean, it's Kanye, so I don't know if I'm expecting too much.
If he delved more into it, he probably end up saying something that gets repeated and memed and all kinds of stuff. Like, the boy has no filter, and it could be a great thing, and it could be a really bad thing. With the way social media is right now.
So what are you thinking about this liposuction?
I thought that it was interesting because I almost felt like, wow, he's actually being real. He's, being transparent right now. And so just with all the stuff that's been going on with him, I was kind of impressed a little bit. Not that he had the liposuction, but the fact that he came out and was honest and said, listen, I'm doing this because of paparazzi, because of the society. And so that was like a real thing. And so I respected it and I admired him for being open.
But do y'all think it was necessary? Like, why did he choose? I guess from my standpoint, I'm just wondering why he chose that route. You know what I mean? Like, what was the reason he was starting to gain the weight? And then why did, he decide to go that route versus something else? Like, that's always a factor for me. You know what I mean? Because I always feel like with celebrities, even though they don't necessarily, but like, when you're in an industry, like, I feel like you kind of can set your own schedule. So you have time to set yourself up to go to the gym or do this kind of stuff or hire a chef and that kind of stuff. So I feel like you have more opportunity to keep your body in shape than you would, like, if you have to work a 9 to 5 all the time and that kind of thing. And you can't hire somebody to cook for you and make sure you eat right.
Well, see, part of that is he also has mental health issues, right? And the type of motivation it takes for a person who's not suffering from mental health issues to just get up and go to the gym consistently. So if you're suffering from depression and anxiety and God knows whatever else, and you drugged up, that motivation is out of there, And so, I don't know if this is his case, but just from interaction and experience, like I just feel like, that definitely plays a part. And then, you got the money. So, it's like, boom, let me go get this done versus, when you're going through all these other things, like the pressure.
So the thought isn't, let me see, like, I don't know, I'm just different. Like, the thought for me is like, all right, I don't feel like worrying with this food thing. I'm going to hire a chef. You know what I mean? Yes, I can pay to get liposuction, but let me not get it there to that point in the first place.
Sorry, to speak to Billy's point, because he just said he's in the gym. Good for you.
Good for you.
I don't think it was about him having an excuse. I think it was about him seeing what his brother-in-law was doing, was happening. Yeah.
So what did Billy say? Because
I'm in the gym right now as y'all speak. He has no excuse. I just really think it took a toll on him with everything he's going through, and then to see everything as Rob going through firsthand, it was just like, wow. Yeah. I can't deal with this right now on top of everything I'm dealing with. So, I'm pretty sure the man could have bought a gym membership. But
He could have bought a gym.
You know what?
He could have bought a gym, put the gym in his house.
Right.
He could have paid people
To
to
work
move
there.
his arms and his legs.
I think
However,
yes, it was a lot for him to go through at one time.
I think people don't really understand when we talk about celebrities. You know, people will automatically say, like, you know, celebrities who commit suicide or things of that nature. You're like, what? Like, what could they have possibly been dealing with? They had money, right?
Right,
As
but
if
that doesn't
money
solve
is the
everything.
thing that
Right.
solves the problem. And money is not necessarily the thing that solves the problem. Money can help you.
Right.
And get through life and maneuver through life. But, you know, there's a lot of things that come along with, you know, your celebratory status and the money that you receive.
Right,
So-
expectation. I think that probably was like you said. Like he said, he didn't want the paparazzi and people to look at him. I think when you're a celebrity and you're in the limelight, there's an expectation, you know, for you to look a certain way, be a certain way, you know, act a certain way.
And then
Like,
look at his wife.
right.
Always in the media, right? But prime example, if we as people, right, like say you have a brand, right?
Right.
Nowhere near, you know, what Kanye has done
Right.
or is doing. And you have a brand and you're used to, or maybe it's growing or budding or whatever, and you're used to being yourself.
Right.
I'll speak from my point of view. I'm used to being myself. Myself means that on any given day, whatever I decide to say or do, that's what I want to do.
Right.
Right? And so as my brand grows, you know, you have people, maybe PR or whatever, and they say, maybe you shouldn't say that.
Right.
Or maybe you shouldn't go there.
Right.
Or maybe you shouldn't look like that.
Right.
Or maybe you should interact with these people. Right? So now I feel like my life is being orchestrated by outside factors, and that's not what freedom looks like for me.
Right.
You know, I mean, personally, I'm like this whole like Angela Davis in my head type of thing. You know, power to the people. Like, I want to help my community, blah, blah, blah.
Anyway.
I almost gave you the middle finger. See what I'm saying? See the pressures of society. I wanted to give her the middle finger, but then I had to think in that quick moment how that would look on Facebook Live.
But so my thing is, I'm a Kanye fan through and through, from the beginning to whatever he's going through now. I'm not used to him taking the shortcut to where he's conforming to somebody's media. He's had green hair, he's had pink hair, he's had this whole mental illness breakdown, he's had a God complex, he's had a Jesus on his stage, and then he does this, and I'm just like,
What do you have on the stage?
he had a Jesus. He had a white man dressed as Jesus on that concert. It was a beautiful concert. But I'm not used to him taking the shortcut.
His
But why
mother-in-law
do you
probably
think-
told him he needed to get
But
his
why
act
do you
together.
think that's any different? And that's what I'm saying. And we talking about shortcuts. Why do you think it's about pressure? It's about pressure to me. I feel it's about pressure and it's about self-esteem.
Right.
Because sometimes it looks like a person is here with their confidence.
Right.
And I can tell you, I know some people, it look like they're here with their confidence, but I know that they're not there. They're probably like, if this is the bottom and this is the top, they probably like right here.
Right.
But you don't know that.
Right, because you're not going to know what's going on inside somebody.
And sometimes the grandiose behavior is a compensation
Right.
Right.
for what's
what they're
missing,
lacking.
for that insecurity.
Absolutely.
But
I
you,
forgot what I was going to say.
oh man,
I just don't.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
So I was going to say, so you say that it's he's taking a shortcut, but if you think about it, how long would it take for him to lose that weight? You're talking about a year,
I
6
don't know.
months.
How long did it take for Rob to lose the weight?
Rob ain't lose the weight.
I wish we could have pulled that picture up before we
Rob
started the show.
lost weight and then he gained weight again. But you also have to remember that they are also shortcuts to losing weight as well. When you don't eat from depression and all you do is drink alcohol and then you don't have no appetite and then you doing drugs.
Wait,
so then you ain't got no
Are you
appetite.
calling crack a shortcut?
Well,
Crack is a shortcut. That's all I heard.
I ain't said
God.
that, but I'm just saying it
I ain't
is.
dealing with y'all.
But the thing is,
It can be.
You know, if his goal was to not be beat up by the media and others, then he's not going to work out 3 times a day or whatever,
Right.
eat the right foods and all those things, because look how long that's going to take. And so he wanted immediate action, so he didn't get paparazzi and everyone else.
But my whole point is, if you care that much about image and body image and how you look, as then you should take those precautions from the beginning. You don't even allow yourself to get to that point.
Yeah, but you're talking about the same
You know what I mean?
person.
So,
I would have never. Let me be clear about
There's a lot
something.
of other people around him
Let
that
me be
can
clear
help
about something.
direct
I will
him.
not say how much I weighed, but I will say this: I would have never allowed myself to get to certain places myself.
Right.
You don't look at me and be like, "How did you even allow yourself to get there?" Well, I don't know. I was living.
I'm sorry. When I look at 500-pound life,
My best life.
600
Okay.
600-pound life, I do wonder how people got there. You know what I mean? I
I'll tell
mean,
you how I got there.
you're not 600 pounds.
I was almost 240 at 5 foot even.
Almost doesn't count.
Sorry, I was 235. I was just like, how did I get there? Let me tell you how I got there. I got some money in my pocket so I could buy some food for myself and feed myself like a queen that I thought I was.
You is a queen.
I don't really eat like one though.
What how
Why
did the
not?
queen eat? Like, what
I
did you
had,
think a
like-
queen ate like? Because that's what I want. Because tell me what a queen eat
I
like.
ate out every day, and I thought a queen could eat whatever she want, and it could be a Taco Bell.
And she
here.
can.
But she
can
better
also weigh
exercise.
235. Right. She can. But I forgot that part. I forgot the exercise part.
Right.
So when you get there, just like we had the discussion every day. I posted a picture of myself in college. They was like, "Oh, I didn't know you was in the gym." And then we looked at you again. We was like, "Wait, that picture old." Yeah, because I had no money in college, so I had to eat. I had to eat a certain way.
No. In college, I ate the most in college I've ever in my life because that cafe, you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
They cut us off at Morgan State. It was a certain time where you had to.
The illustrious.
No, she's lying. She's lying.
All right.
Breakfast stopped at 10:30.
They was
You get-
skipping on the meals.
Everybody has a stop time. Every
They put
school has
your
a
food
stop
budget
time
in the
for food.
buildings,
Because we have a lot of buildings.
so y'all can't eat.
I can't.
Well, let me just
I went
say
to
this.
Morgan, too, so
At
I'm not
Calvin
really
State
appreciating
University,
it.
they did not skip on the meals.
So you listen to her?
We were able to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We had-
and we had a spread of items.
You have a buffet?
And then, if the cafe was closed. Oh, they also you
Can we
could
get
take
back on the
you could
topic?
take food
Can we get
to
back
your
on the
room.
topic of food?
Did you have a buffet?
We had a buffet, and on one side it was like pizza, hot hamburgers, and
Can
French
we get
fries.
back on topic?
We had,
Like, seriously. Back to what we were talking about.
How we got here? That was the topic.
No, I mean, you're saying like you chose that, okay, once you got money, you felt like you should eat out and that kind of stuff, and your
was
choices
not-
weren't necessarily healthy ones.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, and that's the case for a lot of people. Like, they don't necessarily make healthy choices, and they're probably not as active. Like, you might have decreased activity or never really did a lot of activity but started eating more calories.
right. So the point was, you was like, you have to ask yourself, why did you allow yourself to
Right.
even get there in the first place?
Right.
And
Well,
I'm saying that as you live, right, you're living your best life, as Takesha said. Going to work. Excuse me.
I'm talking to Ty.
The mics are on.
Oh, Paul.
Back here. Hey, girl.
Let me say, can I get?
This is what I was going to say though. Aside, so like Ayana had one story, but I can tell you for me,
Right.
it came from dating, going out with my boyfriend, eating several
Right.
times a week, and just having fun.
Right.
Living
And not
life,
really
so-
thinking about
Living her best life.
Yeah, living
Yeah.
my best life.
Yeah, I mean,
That's like
so for me, it's kind of like it's that even balance. Like, I definitely understand, like your schedule could get busy, that kind of things can happen. But at some point, you're gonna hit a point where you're like, this isn't where I want to be, and then you're gonna start making those adjustments. When he
Right.
hit that point, his decision was liposuction instead of let me hire a chef, let me make better
But let me
decisions.
ask you this: what's wrong with liposuction?
What? I don't think it's necessarily anything wrong with liposuction.
So why is there a problem with him choosing liposuction as opposed to getting a chef?
I think my issue with him choosing liposuction is his reason for choosing liposuction.
Right.
Like if he had gotten just completely out of control and tried to work out and then, still wasn't getting his results and chose liposuction, I don't have an issue with that. I think that.
See, I thought you was gonna say something different. I thought you were gonna say no. I thought you were gonna say if he was getting liposuction because he wanted to get it, as opposed to.
Right, I was gonna say that.
No, that's not what you said.
No, I hadn't got there.
No, you wasn't going to get there.
Yes, I was going to get there.
No, that should have been first.
No, it doesn't have to be. It's my comment, okay?
All right, come on.
So, the other side to that is him choosing to get liposuction on himself and not being based off of what other people think.
Oh,
you know
now
what I
you
mean?
want to say it.
Oh, yes.
After you work out.
If that's not the definition of liposuction, what it is?
What you mean the definition?
Because it's like, okay, I'm sorry.
To suck some fat out your body.
The purpose of liposuction is to get that quick fix. I'm done. I don't want this weight anymore. I want a better body. Correct?
Well,
Not
that's
to me,
I
but,
mean,
that
I
might
guess
be
to
to you.
him, because but the myth is this. You get liposuction or anything else, and then you're done with exercising, eating correctly, or whatever else for the rest of your life, and that is not so. Any of those things, they are quick fixes. They are tools, assistance devices, whatever you want to call them, but it's still up to you to have the correct willpower to eat a certain way, to exercise, and things to sustain. So at the end of the day, you can get it, you can jumpstart with however way you feel, but if you are not mentally ready, able, and prepared to make a life change, then it doesn't even matter, because you will gain that weight back.
And you'll be back there getting another
You'll be back there again as many times as you choose to, because that's just how things are. I just found that it was really crazy that he, as a man, I just never seen a man just say that. Like, I mean, a lot of men like that I've interacted with, like, I know they're like, whatever, this is who I am.
She gonna take me like this.
Right. They be 6 months pregnant with a beer belly. They want us all like this, and they be 6 months pregnant, and they be like, what's up? She gonna take me however.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I mean, that's a great attitude to have. I just wish that women could mirror it as well. Wish they had the same confidence in themselves to know, like, okay, wherever I am right now, I'm happy in this space. And whoever I meet, they're going to love me for who I am in this space. If I get better, if I get worse, they're still going to love me for who I am, as opposed to what I look like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, I thought that was very interesting for him to come out and say that.
Coming from a man, it definitely was something that was kind of, shocking, because I don't think many men admit to, if they do get liposuction, don't admit to it. Like, you hear about a lot of trainers getting liposuction and that kind of stuff to help, fill out their abs and that kind of stuff more quickly. And
they have ab implants and all that kind of stuff.
They have all kinds of cool stuff.
Cool stuff.
I mean, if you want to fake it and not really
like,
if
you rubbed your head over some fake abs, like, would that take away from, like,
how would you do?
The intimacy?
What do they feel like?
I don't know, but if he told you, you would automatically, your mind would be like,
I would be appalled that he even did that.
Wait, I have a question. Sorry, just came to my mind. I don't want to forget. So liposuction is one end of the spectrum, and then you have this new thing that they have called cool sculpt, which is the other end of the spectrum where it's non-invasive. Do you consider that the same thing? Because they do the same thing. They're supposed to do the same thing.
It depends on who you're talking to. Because some people don't feel like you should do anything. You shouldn't diet. You shouldn't cool sculpt. You shouldn't liposuck. You shouldn't post your pictures from the gym. You shouldn't post your salad. Depending on who you're talking to. Now, if you asking me, I mean, an adjustment is an adjustment. Now, of course, they're different, because one is actually going in the body and taking something out. It's a surgery. And the other one is just on top. I mean, just in general, like, technically.
Right,
but to me, an adjustment is an adjustment. It don't give you.
It's the same thing, okay?
That wouldn't be the same.
It's the same. It's not the same as liposuction. That's why it's called cool sculpting. But at the end of the day, you're doing enhancements, like Chanel said,
That's not
to
an
your body.
enhancement.
is it not? If it is able to, not remove, but like, what's it called? Ugh, I can't even think of the word. It's supposed to
Emulsify.
Yes,
the
thank
fat?
you.
Is that what
Yes.
it is? Okay.
Emulsify.
Oh, you know that too.
She can't even spell that word, so don't even deal with it.
EMULSIFY.
Check that, please. But no, yeah, I think it's yielding the same results, not as a quicker time, but it's non-invasive.
But that's like wearing the thing around your waist and going exercise.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, it's the same kind of idea.
No.
Why? Because
Do we care though? Do we care? That's the real question. Do we care? Are we picking what we want to be mad about or what we feel like is most offensive to somebody else's body? Right. Are we picking that or what are we doing here?
It's all the same to me. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
You do what works for you.
It's not dirty.
It's levels to it. Like, can you afford liposuction? Can you afford cool school? Cool sculpting. Whatever you can afford. Do what you can afford. Do what you can afford with your budget, okay? Do what works for you. I suggest the gym and a trainer. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
She only saying that because she done did some squats and her butt is poking a little bit. So now I say that trainer. But anyway, yeah.
The hate is real.
So ladies, what are your final thoughts about our discussions today? If you could give one takeaway from everything that we've talked about today, what would it be?
I would say be authentically yourself. Do what makes you happy for you, not based on what other people are going to say about you or how society views you. But love yourself and be authentically you. That's my takeaway.
No, go first.
I guess from my standpoint, it would just be to, like I always say, love yourself and understand that you don't have to please society, and there are multiple ways. Like, you don't have to resort to liposuction or cool sculpting or whatever. There are so many different ways you can deal with the issues and problems that you might be dealing with in life. And if Kanye is gaining weight because of the fact that he's going through this mental health, maybe that's the main thing that needs to be addressed. So let's find out the reasons that you're having the issue so those can be addressed so you don't come back to those issues in the future.
I would say we're always talking about what we need to do for ourselves. But my message is to everybody else. Mind your business. Focus on yourself. We all have something that we need to work on, be it our finances, be it our attitude, be it, our whatever it is that we choose in life to work on. Do not spend all of your time on social media being mean. Being mean and being messy. And to the people who are in positions to, you're a celebrity, you're very popular, I say this to you. Sometimes it's okay to log off because it is too much pressure. Do not let anybody dupe you into believing that you have to be this super strong person all of the time and that the internet should never, ever affect you. Because words do hurt. I know they say sticks and stones, but words do hurt.
My takeaway is we've come too far in this clothing industry to let Rihanna tear us down.
Look at that.
Cheers to that. Yes.
Thank you for watching Curves Rock Happy Hour. Bye. Make sure you tune in to our next episode next week. Please share, comment, like, and if you have any topics that you would like for us to talk about, discuss, or if you would like to be involved in Curves Rock Fashion Weekend this year, please let us know. Again, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.